Good day, everyone. Heleen here, your detox coach. Quick one today. What is some of the defense mechanisms the body comes up with if the body suffers of acidosis? Acidosis is another way of saying interstitial constipation or inflammation, anything ending with an itis. This is all basically acidosis. This means that the spaces in between your cells, which are filled with a liquid, which exists of 20% blood, 80% lymph, the lymph being your sewage system. It means that this sewage system, this lymph, is full of sewage. It has been accumulated probably since birth, might even before birth, and it has not left the body successfully, and it's still accumulating daily. And every time you eat stuff that adds to this, it is adding to this. And every time your cell eats and it poops, it adds to this. So there's this constant accumulation happening. And you get to a point where these acids are just, it's burning your tissue so badly that the body starts compensating for it. So the first defense mechanisms against acidosis for the body is producing more steroids. This is something that the cortex of the adrenals produce. So if you have very strong adrenals, which no one has, you have a good chance of the adrenals being able to produce steroids to fight this acidosis for a long period of time, but it won't be a lifetime. Eventually it will wear out because it would just have to produce it constantly because nothing else is changing, right? It's just there's this acids, there's this accumulation, there's no stopping of it. So steroids will constantly be necessary. Most of us sits on the other side of the boat, which means our adrenals are low functioning already. So even if we sat with acidosis, our adrenals cannot produce enough steroids for it. It will still produce as much as it can. It will still be worn out by the fact that it has to produce so much steroids, but the ultimate result of it will be very little steroids. So now the body has to do some other things. So this is now where plaqing comes in. So the body can instruct the liver to produce more cholesterol. So the body uses cholesterol as plaqing. So you know how you use zinc cream and put it on a baby's bum so that it doesn't burn from the urine or the feces? Well, this is what the plaqing does now. The body uses cholesterol and plaque it against the tissue everywhere in the inside of the veins and the arteries, the tissues, they're everywhere now. This plaqing is happening to defend the body from the acids. Of course, it's a good thing. It's trying to defend the body from the acids, right? But constantly doing that, constantly defending the body from the acids, the plaqing is becoming more and more and more and more. And eventually the very plaqing itself becomes the problem because now it becomes an obstruction and it creates pressure because there used to be a pipe like this, now there's a pipe like this because there's so much plaqing and the pressure build up in the body. So it's not ideal. Another kind of plaqing that the body does is calcium plaqing. So why does the body use calcium or cholesterol as plaqing? Because both are alkaline. Calcium is a base mineral. It's an alkaline mineral. So and calcium is readily available from the body. It sort of steals or borrows calcium from the matrix, your body matrix, and that means from your very structure, your skeletons, your muscles, the membranes of each cell has calcium in it. Anything in your body that has structure to it has calcium as part of the building blocks for that structure. So now the body borrows calcium from your matrix so that it can plaque calcium so that the burning is less on the tissue, so that the tissue doesn't die so quick. Otherwise, your organs and that starts giving in because it's not protected anymore by this plaqing. So you can imagine now if this plaqing happens and the cholesterol plaqing happen, or either of the two, but the plaqing keeps on happening, again, how the pressures are decreasing and the very plaqing becomes the obstruction that sometimes breaks loose and smothers or obstructs something else, obstruct flow or nerve. It obstructs absorption most definitely. So wherever it's plaque, the nutrients are not reaching the tissue behind it either. So there's definitely obstruction happening that we don't want. So the very defense mechanisms become the blockage and the problem. And then there's a third way. The body uses water to use for buffer between the tissue and the cells as well. And this is where edema comes in, the swelling comes in. So water is neutral in the pH scale, so it doesn't burn like the acidic wastes and sewage and your lymph does. So now the body will use water in some cases. And then a fourth way that the body would use if there's not enough steroids is, of course, to build tumors. It doesn't really build it on purpose, but it sort of does create it by design, because the connective tissue becomes so weak that it pops and it creates a bag. And now this bag is like a holding bag for all the lymphatic sewage that was supposed to come to the lymph node. And the reason that this thing popped just before the lymph node is that lymph node has been blocked for so long. The acids has been conglomerating there in front of the lymph node, really wear and tearing on the tissue of the lymph vessel. And then this lymph vessel pops and becomes a tumor and becomes a holding bag, and it grows, and it, depending how its inflow and outflow is, it will grow. And actually your body can survive quite well with tumors as long as it doesn't obstruct flow. So if it doesn't obstruct nutrition or hydration or oxygen or lymph or nerve, if it doesn't obstruct anything, you can live with tumors for a very long time. Not a good idea to prick them and test them. Assume whatever is inside is cancerous and treat it as such. There's no reason why you don't need to assume that. And how do we treat cancer and tumors? How do we treat inflammation? We hydrate and alkalize. How do we do that? With fruits. We hydrate and alkalize, eating fruits, thereby working in on this lymphatic fluid, which is our sewage system. Eventually, the sewage system that's surrounding the cells of our elimination organs, which is our kidneys, our bowel, our skin, and our lungs, starts healing as well, and starts hydrating and alkalizing, allowing those elimination organs to eliminate successfully again. And then the channel is open, then the healing starts, then the sewage is starting to leave the body, and cells can start breathing again and receive nutrients again and regenerate themselves again. And acidosis will be part of the past, and you'll have a beautiful inner environment that's alkaline and conducive for life. And you'll be flexible, you'll be able to, you'll be loose and flowing. You won't get injured as quickly. If you do get injured, you will heal very quickly. You'll have a lot of dynamic energy and a lot of stamina. It's a beautiful world, the world of health. Definitely worth investigating it. Check out Anouthen, ANOUTHEN, www.anouthen.co.za. We do online detoxes every month. Join us. It's fun doing it together. Just plug yourself into this reality of how to heal and do it. Do it with us. We all heal. It's amazing. This is your detox coach, Heleen, over and out.